In East London in the 60s, the Kray twins are the gangster princes of the city and everyone is terrified of them. Ron is bloodthirsty and illogical, while Reggie is a street-fighting man. One morning, Reggie leaves the house to bring tea for the policemen who have been tailing him. He mocks Nipper for sitting there doing nothing instead of catching the real criminals. Then Reggie goes to his car and finds his friend Albie instead of his driver Frank. Albie explains that Frank hasn't shown up for work, so Reggie decides to go to his apartment to find out what happened. On the way, Reggie talks to all the neighbors, who like how much he cares. The cops continue to follow him and Nipper gets angry because civilians choose to talk to a gangster but not to the police. At the apartment, Reggie meets Frank's sister Frances and flirts with her until her mother sends her back inside. Eventually Frank comes out and finally gets to work. During the trip, Reggie keeps asking Frank things about Frances. Eventually they stop by an alleyway, where Reggie and Albie quickly sneak away. Nipper stops the police car too and tries to follow them, but no matter how fast he runs, he loses track of them. Afterward Reggie and Albie visit Ron, who is in a mental hospital. He served 3 years in prison for grievous bodily harm but eventually was declared insane. Ron tells them a story about using mind powers to force people to give him their food and the duo pretends it's fascinating. Reggie is desperate to get his brother out, so he sends one of his men to threaten the psychiatrist in charge of Ron's evaluation. The doctor is so terrified after hearing Reggie's name that he tells the parole board that Ron is healthy now and can be released. After the paperwork is done, the doctor privately warns Reggie that Ron is a psychopath and gives him some medicine that Ron must take twice a day to avoid trouble. Sometime later Frances gets ready for a date with Reggie and ignores her mother's disapproval. Reggie takes her to the club he owns, explaining that he invites both celebrities and criminals because his clients love the mix. The date is interrupted when Reggie's men take him to another table because there's something important that needs his attention. It turns out that Jack has been stealing some of the money he gets from selling illegal substances as part of Reggie's operation. To Jack's surprise, Reggie forgives him as long as he brings the money back tomorrow and promises not to steal again. Reggie even gives him a cigarette, only to then hit Jack and threaten to kill him if he does something stupid again. Then Reggie returns to the date and tries to bond with Frances. She asks him if he enjoys being a gangster and he pretends he isn't. Instead he says he's just a club owner. He gives a funny speech about the state of the world and Frances kisses him. A few weeks later, Reggie takes Frances to the forest so he can introduce her to Ron, who is living in an RV. Frances notices another guy leaving the RV so Ron explains he likes men. In fact he shares too much information about his taste in the bedroom.